Kalen, welcome to Bitches of Bad Words, tch Sesh. Thank you so much for joining us today. We are incredibly grateful for you coming on and sharing your story.
And I would say excited to be here, but I feel a wave of agony coming over me. So we'll see how this goes. It's good.
We welcome all the feelings, all the feels. Like, we're just sitting here having a good old fashioned bitch sesh, and whatever you feel, and you own the fuck out of it. And, you know, no, this is a judgment free zone. We've been judged the fuck out of everything for a very long time. So I try to just say, we don't do judgy over here.
Great. Perfect. Okay.
So yeah, all great stories. Let's start at the beginning.
Sure. So the story ends really like I'll start with by just saying it ends wonderfully and I'm in a great place now. And so we'll start there because I just want to preemptively say things are great before I introduce you to the trauma. So I won't go, when you say start at the beginning, it's hard because my background is psychology and I'm like, oh, let me tell you about my childhood. And I could just say, I'll just say, abuse is normalized in my household and growing up. So that really normalized what love was to me. And I sought that out and I continue to have that desire to seek out an abusive partner because it's just, I think it's innate in some attachment stuff. So that normalized it. And I think throughout my adolescence, throughout my life, I dated, it seems like every relationship I had, minus maybe there were a couple really nice, hetero in the hetero landscape, a couple nice men in my life. So I won't say all of them were awful. And I also dated women and there was abuse there as well. So when I started my adolescence and started dating, I gravitated towards a power dynamic and very much where I wanted to please. And it's the typical story of power and control and normalizing assault, normalizing emotional, physical, sexual, financial abuse throughout my life. And it seems like every person, there was characteristics became more extreme as I went on because I never dealt with it and I thought it was normal. And very tumultuous high school experience where I think I would be, like I remember yelling in the street and him taking my phone and just this at 17 and this whole weird, and he was older than me. And then when I was 14, for instance, I was in a relationship with another girl, my peer, who sexually assaulted me. And it was kind of like, but it was something that I just associated with, oh, that's just the drama of love. I mean, this is just what it is. So
they say, be careful what feels like home feels familiar if home is a fucking shit show. I don't think that's the actual quote, but
No, it's true. I'm working with my therapist a lot on because I've been celibate for 3 years and I've been working on I'm so scared of I want the spark, but what is that? What is safe anyway? So I'm working a lot on that. Even I left my last abuser in 2017. So even this far down the road, I'm kind of still grappling with that. But anyway, I was working in Hollywood because I was pursuing acting, and I got married around 23 to my boss, which already is like, okay,
red
that's
flag
right.
numero uno.
And it's funny because I think back and people in my life were like, are you sure?
Is he your
And I was
older
like, yeah,
boss too?
yes. I mean, it was like a 8-year age difference,
But at 23, 8 years
right,
is substantial.
right,
That's a big deal because when you just go from like 23 and you go back 8 years,
right,
you're going to jail.
right. And I think like developmentally,
For
we
sure.
are in different spaces.
Yeah.
So I got married, and it was interesting because there were already red flags, obviously. In retrospect, I feel like there's always this like, what the hell was I think? What was this? That's strange. That I thought that was okay.
Oh yeah.
But I think I was so determined and stubborn to say, well, I'm going to prove that I'm worthy of love, and I'm going to get married. Because at the time I didn't feel connected to people, to a lot of people. I felt very isolated, and later I realized it had to do with trauma and my response. And I only felt connected to certain types of people who were wanting to control me. So anyway, married. It was a shit show. He was an addict. He was let go of the position he had, and I was kind of thrown into this situation of like caretaker, where it was like I had to, and also I was in the midst of it. I had my own addiction, and yesterday is my 5-year sobriety from marijuana.
Congratulations.
Thank you. So I was like also kind of numbing things. And I started that back when I was 13 or so. And I'm 37 now. Anyway, so he would help, and he would like enable that. And he would also use pills and give me pills. And it was kind of like this thing where I felt like he was this figure who knew better than I did, and would just say, well, here, these pills will help you. And it was like, I don't know what he was giving me. He also would stock my Adderall, and I would use that as well. And the abuse started, it started with the typical love bombing, and then we got married, and it was fine at the beginning. And then like as these stories go, and then it just started progressively, like, chipping away at my self-confidence, saying things like, I wish I could keep you in the closet so you don't leave. And I was just like, oh man, he really loves me. Like, I'm a princess, and he wants to keep me inside. Right. So things continued. He was lying. I found out he was having an affair. And I was going absolutely out of my mind because he kept lying. And looking back, I'm like, oh yeah, no, there were used underwear in his briefcase. And he was like, so someone planted them there. And
oh my God. This is so fucked up, because this is not the first time I've heard this. Which is so fucked up. Like, I'm like, what the fuck? Every time I hear something for the first time, I'm like, what? And then I hear it again. And then it's even like double what the fuck? Because I've heard this, and it was panties, and then another person. So there's more than one, two. A bra, but like a cute, sexy bra, and not the bra that they typically own. And they were like, I have no idea how it comes.
Someone's against me. Someone's planting this. They want to get me in trouble.
The housekeeper must have done it.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
The housekeeper took her bra off, washed it, and put it in your fucking briefcase.
Makes a lot of sense. They don't even use original playbooks. It's like the same shit every single time.
No, I'm trying to find it. I'm trying to find the fucking playbook because I want to burn the motherfucker.
It's there. I'm working in a DV center right now, and there's research. It's like, this is literally step by step what they do. It's not original. It's like, it's all bullshit. But so So I would
Sorry, I
believe
just
him,
like went on
though.
I get just triggered when I hear dumb shit.
Sorry.
Like, sorry,
Well,
my panties were in somebody else's panties were in my briefcase.
Right. Ugh. Right. No, it was like his coworker was trying to get him in trouble with me, and they would play tricks on each other, and I would find
cute
text messages.
Tricks?
Yeah, I would find text messages to anonymous numbers, like because we shared iCloud or whatever. Like, and it would be like talking about like, I want to fuck you, I love your pussies, things like this. And I would confront him, and he would be like, oh, those are my guy friends, and we just fuck around. And I'm like,
dude, I just watched an episode of this on the Righteous Gemstones. I don't know if you watched that show.
Oh, I love that show.
Okay, and there's like literally the wife finds an email where there's like a squirt emoji, and like ATL was lit and their titties were fire, and who do I Zelle for the prostitutes or whatever? Like, who do I Venmo? And then she's like, no, it doesn't mean that. It means like whatever. The husbands come in and then they like break it down. They're like, yes. They're like, the squirt emoji means cum, like semen. And he's like, yes, it does mean semen. But we were watching the movie ATL, and it's a dirty, like that movie's like PG-13. I don't think there's any semen in that movie.
Yeah. That's a great show though.
That's a great show. And that episode I was sitting there, I actually just watched it last night, which is why it's so fresh in my mind. And I was like, oh my God, like the gaslighting that's happening right now. And then just like the fucking downright dirty lies. Anyway. So yeah.
Yeah. And in retrospect, I mean, there's a lot of shame and guilt I have because I believed them. And I know the psychological processes, and I know I was broken down, and I know that my emotions they just like objective reality was not there. And I think so we go through, I kind of lose my mind a bit, and I end up, it was very tumultuous, and we would go, like, he was dating someone. Clearly, he was telling his coworkers that we already were getting a divorce, which wasn't true. He hacked my Facebook, and he found like messages I sent from before we were married and used them against me. And then I was like, oh, I have to apologize. I had to throw out all my sex toys because he was like, oh, you're calling me inferior. You need something else to get off. Like, it was like this just like complete, like, I don't know. He would say things like, I'm more like, even I was doing a yoga training and I was very invested in my spiritual work at the time. And he's like, I'm more spiritual than you. And I'm like, okay, sure. Maybe you are. I don't know. Like, I'm just trying to
have to be like a competition.
Exactly. It is. And I think that that's what they do. They find people who are bright and have so much to give, and then they want to take that.
This is what I hate, because you sound like a fun time. Like, you sound like a rad chick who like somebody would be very lucky to be with. And that's what when they have that mask on and they're conning us, they see that and they're like, they see the rad chick, they see the girl who likes to have a good time, they see the girl who's like whatever, all the things. And then they have to like bottle it up and put it deep away so nobody else can ever experience it. Anyway, sorry.
Like Tinkerbell.
Like, don't ever let anybody steal.
I'm working on it.
Please go check out our Patreon. It is growing. There is a badass community handing over there. Patreon.com/bitch is a bad word. There's free tiers. There's paid for tiers. The paid for tiers give you ad-free listening, merch drops, merch discounts. We have a private Discord server where every single member is vetted. We personally look at their license so you can build your bestie gang, rebuild your network, rebuild your net worth over there on Patreon. Patreon.com/bitch is a bad word.
The one thing I do want to never allow my history to harden my heart. Yeah. And it definitely has. So I'm working on like really cultivating good relationships with people and saying to myself, look, this exists. The other thing was not normal. But anyway, the trajectory of my abuse wasn't just, so this relationship ended with, I had an eating disorder. I was severely underweight. I was high all the time, and we kept breaking up. I found out about his affair. And then I kicked him out of the house, and we were in Vegas at the time, because when he got fired, he couldn't find work in LA, and he had to go to Vegas, and that's where his family was. So I just picked up and left, even though at the time I was getting some success in acting, and I was like, I'm just going to follow this fucking schmuck over and go to Vegas where I don't know anyone. And I go there, I'm isolated, and then I kind of lose it. He's at this casino hotel in a room, and I want to see him because I want to make up. And I'm just like, we need to make up. We need to make this work. We're married. And I go to the hotel, and he refuses to see me. And he tells the security guards that I am crazy. I am on drugs. We've already filed for divorce. I don't know, like, he refused to see me. And I just, in that lobby, just started flipping out, like banging my head against the floor, sobbing, saying, how could this be? How could this be? And security came and got me. And then the paramedics came, and I was taken to a hospital because I was like, I didn't want to live. And, they asked me, they said, do you want to be held in a 5150? And I said yes, because I was like, I don't want to go back home. So I was in this psychiatric hospital for 4 days. And within that time, they diagnosed me, which you're not supposed to diagnose people when they're in the middle of abuse or crisis, but I didn't communicate that to any of the doctors. So they diagnosed me at the time. I've been diagnosed with a couple things during this period. So they diagnosed me with bipolar because I was like, I don't know what's wrong with me. I have these mood swings, and it's like, I didn't associate it with him because I couldn't, because then my life, sure, I'd have to leave. Like, all of my finances, everything was within this guy. I had co-signed for his car that he wasn't paying. So it was like, we were so, and that's what they do. The abusers, they make sure you are relying on them. And finally, something clicked. I don't know what it was, but I was like, I had a dog, Mookie, rest in peace. And I had left to go, after I got out of the psychiatric ward, to go to LA to visit friends and just kind of get grounded again. I had posted on social media screenshots of his text messages too. So people were like, what the fuck is going on? Go to LA, couple days. He calls me. My dog, Mookie, the sweetest little boy, had broken his... Sorry.
No. Take all the time you need.
He was in the my dog was in the hospital, or in the, veterinarian, because he broke his, something, like his leg or something broke. And it was in this guy's care, and he wasn't nice to Mookie, and he would say he wasn't a real dog because he was so small, and he was like he would not watch for him, and he would kick him on accident when he was walking and spill coffee on him. And I still feel a lot of guilt for putting my sweet boy in these situations. But so I left, and he was injured, and he had to wear a cast. And when that happened, I was like, I have to get out of here. Like I don't care as much about me, but my dog, he's not safe. If my dog is not safe with you, I can't be around you. So I left, and then I went back to LA, because LA seems to be the place where I just it's like, for some reason, like this home to me. I'm not from here, but I went back, and I, had to couch surf, and I was doing things like I was nannying and working under the table and cleaning houses, and just like trying to get myself back. And I started to do that. And then what happened after that, because I never dealt with, it was kind of like, oh, it was just him. It was just this guy. I didn't look at myself and say, well, what am I doing to be interested and to be okay with this? So I was just like, oh, he's a villain. And I was back in LA. I applied for a job. At the time I was doing astrology. I was like practicing professional astrology and I was working for Psychic Lines, and I applied for this job for an astrologer for horoscope writing. And I was hired by this guy who, another power dynamic, decided after I started working for him that we should be together. So he was worse. So that's why I'm saying, like, every relationship, I feel like, progressively worse.
Mm-hmm.
So this guy was actually he was 7 years younger than me, which is interesting. But he was my boss again, and hired, and like got into a relationship. And it was weird the way it happened, because I didn't want to be in a relationship. And I kept telling him that I don't want a relationship. And one day we had a conversation about it, and he started crying and saying he wanted to kill himself because I didn't want to be with him. And that's a typical manipulation tactic, right? And I was like, oh, okay, well, don't leave. Like, I don't know what you're going to do. So I somehow, like, it's so elusive to me how this all happened, but he ended up moving in because he caused a fight with his roommate. And then he ended up breaking his phone, because he would have these events where he would break things, and he threw his phone and broke it. And then he became reliant on my phone, and he said he sold his car. So then he became reliant on my car. So it was somehow it was like just everything of mine that was autonomous became his.
Mm-hmm.
And he was violent. So my ex-husband was not physically violent. All the other ways, I feel like, prepped me for this next relationship. And I tell people, they say, how long were you married? And it was like 2 years. But I put this other relationship in that, because I'm like, it's like they were the same person. And it just, because I didn't deal with the fact that I was attracted to this, I just went right into somebody who was progressively worse. I mean, it's all bad, right? But this relationship he also wasn't able to have an income anymore. It's like, and then I ended up being the person, because I had booked commercials in the past and I had residuals and I was paying for things. And we ended up moving to the middle of nowhere because that's where his family was. So again, I was isolated. Mm-hmm. And everything about me was a problem. I was convinced that I wasn't smart. I was convinced that he was constantly telling me, I don't care about the way people look, because obviously you're beautiful and you're really dumb. And he would read my journal. He would tear up my yoga mat. He would break my car windshield. He would eventually, when I got, in these 2 years I was with him, he actually kept me in the closet. Like, I literally wasn't away from him at all. Within 2 years, it's 24/7 with this guy just following me, and he was like just entrapped. And I would try to stick up for myself and argue. And he got to the point where when he started hitting me, where he would say, And at this time, I thought I was dumb. And it's funny because part of me getting out of this was like calling a friend from LA and being like, "Don't you have a master's? What?
Yeah.
What do you mean?" And it was like, and I also saw a therapist at the time because he had me convinced that I was borderline. So it's like, I was just like,
God. You're like, no, you're making me fucking crazy.
But I just thought I was. And I've accepted that. And I started taking on those traits and I started saying, yes, this is true. And I'm going to treat the borderline. And I actually, it wasn't until a couple years ago that a psychologist said, no, you do not have borderline. You have PTSD. Because often they are conflated, especially with women. So anyway, I literally just have been thinking that for a while, that I'm something, and nothing's wrong with having, like, I don't believe in the word crazy. I think that we're all products of societal issues. And I think that people are products of their environment. So
for sure.
Even if I were borderline, or even if I were diagnosed with borderline, that would be okay, because I would be able to figure out how to treat it. But I wasn't. And that was the problem, is I started like fixating on the symptoms and embodying those symptoms and playing this character that I feel like was so far removed from who I used to be. And that was deliberate. So I started seeing, he's like, you need to see a therapist because you need help. So I started seeing a therapist, and she was like, what is happening? What do you mean you can't talk to people because you don't know how to have a conversation? What do you mean you are stupid? What do you mean he hits you every time you disagree and he tells you that's the only way you shut up and learn? And you believe him. What do you mean, like, you didn't clean the kitchen properly and he hit you for that? What do you mean he took all of your childhood photos and poured bleach on them? What is this? What do you mean he keeps breaking glass and making you pick up the glass from the carpet and then saying it was your fault for his reaction? And you believe him. So I really did believe that I was just, I don't know, it wore me down so much. And it is the most painful part of it is that if there weren't a part of me that believed him, that said, wow, these things are true, that breaks my heart for myself, that I believed that, and it became me, and I was like, oh, this man is a genius, and I'm just this troubled person with a shitty upbringing, and I'm aging, and my looks are fading, but anyway, I just completely adopted this. And then we ended up living with his family. We first lived with his grandparents, and then we had to move. And things in the house kept breaking because he would break them, or he would use them to, hit me, or and then people, like his grandparents, would find out, and he would say, oh, Kalen's clumsy. And I was like, yeah, it was my fault. Like, if I didn't upset him, then he wouldn't have done that. And it was like, my parents were also sending me money because I was like, they kind of knew I was in the situation, but they didn't know what to do. And people stopped, I didn't have anyone from my past to talk to because I kind of isolated myself from people. Mm. And that's what happens too, is like, you just, either people get so tired of hearing about the abuse, or you say, it's like, I think what both of these men did is they were like saying, oh, my friends weren't really my friends. And they would put these ideas of, like, for me to be paranoid about people and about family, and I cut everybody off. And anyway, we were living with his grandparents, and then we left, and then we moved in with his mother. And his mother was one of like his biggest enabler. And they would, when he would get mad at me, they would team up and both kind of come at me. He was more violent, but she would say, yeah, like you're making this excuse for your behavior or whatever it is. And then like he would break the vacuum, and I would say, he broke the vacuum. And she said, I don't want to hear that. I don't want to hear that. So
I cannot stand that. I don't want to hear it. Like, yes, you need to fucking hear it. You need to hear what your son is doing, which is like, oh my God.
Yeah.
This makes me so pissed off, because then you feel even crazier. And then you're like, the reason I responded this way is because you're not seeing the fucking times that they're doing this the whole time. And then they're like, what did you do?
Right.
What did you do to make my son so upset? Go fuck off. I'm sorry.
It's good. I'm glad. It's like, I'm glad to hear that, because it makes me feel less alone. But he would also abuse her, and I would see it, and I would see how he would do things to her and it was like, it was her fault because she was a bad mother. So she had all this guilt that he used against her as well.
Oh, yes.
So there was this interesting thing that started happening where it was like, Kalen's crazy. Let's help Kalen. And then his mom started keeping a journal with me. And because I wasn't able to keep one myself because he would find it. So she would hide this notebook. And then I would go and I would write my feelings and thoughts, and she would respond it was like a support. It was an interesting thing. So it started helping me become aware of what was happening. So in a way, she was trying to kind of figure out a way to get in there, I guess. I don't know, but it was working. And we would
She wasn't like flying monkey back to him with the shit you were writing, was she? Oh,
no.
Wow.
She was hiding this, and we would go secretly.
So she knew, like in her gut, in her instinct told her she knew her son was doing this.
Yes. Yeah.
Huh. That's really
it was clear too, because things would break. Right. But she wouldn't accept, like, if she acknowledged it around him in any way, she would be vilified.
Fair.
So, and she felt all that guilt from being a bad mother, and played into it. So I remember one day he left. Oh, and he had already, like, he had strangled, like, strangulation had happened, all this, the worst case of what could have happened. I mean, some people, actually the worst case would have been me dying, but they show that if somebody strangles you, you are very close to them killing you because they don't have restraint.
Yeah, if somebody's willing to take your breath away, it's like the most distinct indicator that they will murder you.
Right. And especially when,
he could have murdered. Hold on. Let's just go back for a second. He could have murdered you because you don't know that the last press is the last press, or the not. You know what I'm saying? Like how there's no possible way that somebody can be strangling you and say, yeah, well, I think they're not going to die right now. You don't know that.
Right.
So.
No, absolutely.
It's attempted murder. Let's just be fucking real. If someone strangles you, they've attempted to murder you.
Right. And I in hindsight, it's like, yeah, of course. Of course that happened. And I just was like, okay, well, I made this comment and I was threatening to leave. And so anyway, as he left for a day, and it was the first day I'd been apart from him in 2 years. And within a few hours of him being gone, I was like, oh my gosh, I feel at peace. I feel like I'm not hypervigilant. I feel like there's something like I feel myself again, and I don't feel his voice telling me that he would literally say my intuition is wrong and my gut feeling is wrong.
I'm just having this vision of like when Ariel gets her voice back and she's like, ah,
right.
Like, rising up from the ocean with her voice back.
I love that.
That was you.
That was, starting. Yes. I love that. I think, he left, and then I went to his mother and I said, I need to get out of here. I said, this is the first time I've felt like okay in 2 years. And this is, I can't do it. I can't. And she said to me, okay, well, I'm going to get you a storage unit. I'm going to show you how you could live in your car if you need to live in your car. And I'm going to book you a hotel room. I'm going to pay for your car insurance, and I'm going to help you get out. So within that,
like, oh my God, what a turn of events. The negative advocate becoming your advocate. That is amazing.
Yeah. No, it was she.
Wow. She knew.
I
think they all know.
Yeah.
I think they must all know. They must know.
They do.
Okay. They know. So she's like got you out. She's a baddie. She's teaching you how to live
in the moment.
Car, Jesus Christ. Right.
In the moment, she is that. No, because she had lived in her car before. So she knew, and she's like, this is what you do. Here are all these Starbucks gift cards. She would say, I could get you a gym membership, and then you can use the showers there. I will pay for your storage unit, and I will pay for your insurance, and I'll pay for these things for 3 months. And then, so that happened, and she was the reason I was able to get out. And it happened. It just intersected with him also somehow like leaving and on his trip, and then me saying, like, desperately pleading to like get me, like, I need help. And yeah, it was, so I went back to LA as I always do. And I lived in my car, and I found people like angels who I hadn't talked to in years. And I said, this is what's happening. I need a place to stay. And and most people said no, they couldn't help me. The first person who helped me, she actually lived in a studio apartment, and I was sleeping on her couch, and it was a burden for her. And I know that. But that was like the first step. And then I kind of had to finagle things, and I had to, couch surf and find people who were willing to help me. I lived in a yurt for a month, and I was like, just build. And I think the pervasive question was, why do I keep ending up in these situations? This is mirroring me leaving my ex-husband. Although this time I could have died. So what the fuck? But to just reverse a bit and say, when that happened with his mother, I wasn't allowed to tell him that she was helping me.
Okay. Right.
And he ended up finding out she was helping me. And he used her email address, because I had blocked him on everything. He would send me random money on Venmo to try to talk to me, and then I blocked him there. But he was, from her email, he was like sending me these threatening emails. He's like, I found out you two were colluding against me, and I don't know how I felt. And then it was like, okay, I can't contact her. I can't be in contact with her ever again, because I don't
it's not safe.
Know what's going on. Yeah, like for her even, and for me. But and like throughout the years, he hasn't tried to contact me in years. But like, I think like within that year, he kept trying to contact me, and he was like, I know you're struggling financially, so I'm going to try to help. Like, he would just find way. And I was like, how do you know I'm struggling? I was, but I was like, I'm fine. Like, leave me alone. And I never reported him. And I wish I did, because at the California's changed laws since 2 years ago. They passed the law where, I think it was about 2 years ago, where the victim does not have to file a police report to qualify for services. But at the time, this was in 2017, I didn't file a police report because his family said to me, you know, he's a young man, you could ruin his life. And I was like,
don't worry about the life he's just ruined of mine.
Right,
but
right.
We'll protect them because he's a young man.
Yeah.
We'll just let him keep doing this to other people.
It was awful. I wish I did, not only for my services, but for other people that he would be with, that I'm sure he's done this too. And
1,000,000%.
I dated someone, I had 2 relationships since that were healthier. I have a lot of trauma. So I think, I'm not taking full blame, but I think it's just been hard. I've been working out some things, but my last relationship, he said to me, it's interesting because it's like, you didn't want to file a police report and leave that on your record. And he left you with a scar that is forever there. And it's true. So,
it's so,
where was I?
I just want to say right now, because this doesn't typically come up a lot during a bitch sesh. So if you're listening right now, and I just need to say, you need to feel safe. This, like, obviously all the advice that we give you is like, be safe when you're doing it, but just know that 100% of the women that I have talked to on the show, myself included, have regret they didn't report it every time, every single one. And in the moment, it feels like, I can't fucking do this. It's scary AF. I know this, believe me. But when there's some time and space between what's happening, you're going to wish that you had. And it's not that I'm saying like, oh, you owe it to the bestie behind, like the next bestie in line who's going to get abused. That's not what I'm saying at all. But this is like, they are serial abusers. And the only time there's like a lapse in any of the time that it doesn't look like they're doing anything wrong is because it's not reported.
Right.
And once you're reported, you're in a safer sense of like protection.
Right.
Anyway, sorry, that's my PSA for today.
No, it's good. I mean, you could get protective orders. You can get services. I don't know about other states. I know in California, I'm sure nationwide, or there are people who do this, who advocate, who work pro bono, who will fight. And I know the court system it's flawed. It's fucked up. It typically undermines survivors. But they recently also passed, that their coercive abuse is considered abuse. So coercive control. So people can go to court and they can do this. And there are people fighting to keep you safe. So find them. And then it's like, I called the DV hotline so much, and I was just arguing with them, and I was like, he's not an abuser because of this. What about this? What about, and I would just go on and find ways to try to convince them. And they're like, no, he's abusing you, and this is what he's doing. And I would just stay. They were just blessings, because they would stay on the phone with me for hours, just trying to get in there. And I think so that support is there. And I think that they would have, and I think they did try to convince me, but I didn't listen. And it's hard because when you're in that state, you are so worn down and your self-esteem is so low. It's hard enough to convince yourself to get out, and then to put that on record, and especially because you still love this person.
That's a key component.
There's so much love, and I still love him.
And trauma bonding, and you're still bonded to the person. And I just I fucking hate this. Like, it's gonna go on his record. Like,
who fucking cares?
Fucking done it. They shouldn't have fucking done the abuse if they don't want to have the abuse recorded. It's that simple. It's like, just don't. That's it.
Yeah.
But like, why again? Victim shaming is so real. And the burden being on you, like, oh my God, I've like so many people and everybody's going through it. Like, I'm going to be the one responsible for fucking up their life. No, You are not. They fucked up their life. And they fucked up your life too. So they got a twofer, like, and you're fucking holding the shame tag. No, fuck that.
And it's definitely a tricky thing. And that's why I think therapists are so important, because they kind of get in there. But it's hard to, with, you know, the cycle of abuse, and even to be able to see a therapist is challenging for people. But I would say that therapy had been the thing that just, it's like having someone tell me, what are you doing? Why do you believe this person? All these other things you've accomplished in your life. So I found a therapist in 2017, and I was saying I've been working with a therapist, not the same one, but since 2017, weekly, sometimes twice a week. I have invested so much into asking, why did I give my power away, that I completed a PhD and I focused on internalized sexism and how that contributes to all of this.
Look at you, buddy.
Yeah, I also did, and then I'm having it published through an academic publisher. And then I also filmed I did a short documentary where I interviewed women, not specific about DV or intimate partner violence, but about this idea of internalized sexism and how we are conditioned to be subservient and think of ourselves in a oppressive manner. And how do we continue to search for our power and our authentic sense of self, despite all of these voices. And then I went back to school because therapy affected me so much. I'm back in school again to get my second master's in social work now. And I want to pursue my LCSW path and help people, you know, in a way that I was helped. And I'm doing my second year, and I'm in an internship right now at a DV center. So I'm going, it's an interesting circle. It's interesting because I'm now in a position where I'm going to be supporting survivors in a way that I was supported. And I don't know how it's going to affect me. I know I talk to my supervisor and I say, I'm probably going to get triggered. I'm probably going to project. So I need to figure out, like, through this, what's going to come up that I haven't yet healed, and how do I deal with that? So I am fully holding space and supporting people. And that is going to be my lesson. And I think this experience, it's been, I think, so I've been sober, like I said, for 5 years, and I was accounting because these guys, it's like, I can't live without them, yada, yada, yada. But then within, that time period, even within 5 years after that was like 7 years ago, I guess, I left them, I finished my PhD, I'm getting a book published, I did this documentary, I have a coaching practice that's pretty regular. It's a different type of population. It's more of like a business, because my other master's is in organizational development. And then this one, I have a coaching credential through the ICF. So I've had to get an exam and do all that. And did the documentary.
Fuck the guy who said you weren't smart, just saying.
Right. It's like, okay, I have,
Christ.
And I'm not saying
you got all the letters, bitch.
Well, but it's like, and I know that education doesn't equal intelligence, right? It doesn't mean, like, having a degree really doesn't, when it boils down to it, it's all about asking questions and being curious. And, you can have no diploma and be a genius. And that's very common, actually. So I'm not saying but I do think I had to prove something to myself. Sure. And I do, this will be my third graduate degree.
That's so cool.
Yeah. So I think it's like I'm finding my way out of it, but there are a lot of people who don't. And there are a lot of people who, get caught in that cycle and that strangulation. It could have killed me, like you said.
Yeah.
And that unfortunately is the statistic. And we have politicians making light of DV and making light of like, you know, the orange man. And it's like, it's just, I hope that if this reaches anyone in the midst of it who's listening and they're in their closet because they're not allowed to listen to podcasts or they're, you know, just thinking about leaving, like, I hope that they know that, like, within a short amount of time from leaving this cycle, I have been able to start crafting a life I want. And I've gone on and I've dated, you know, no relationship is perfect, but I've dated very kind, healthy men after this. And I still have a lot of work to do, and that will never change. But I think it's been an interesting plot or story in my life of finding my voice, like you're saying. And
hell yeah. No, you're a badass.
Aw.
That's so cool. I'm proud of you. I'm glad. I'm not glad. I fucking hate that word. If you hear me say that word, just send me a DM. Like you said it again. Glad.
What word?
It's like glad. I'm so glad. I'm not glad about anything. Like I'm fucking stoked. Like I say glad. Like I don't know why. And then I get mad that I'm more than glad. It's just like I'm going to tell you what it is, because I was always called a beach rat and dumb by, you know, mine. Mm-hmm. And so there's times where I really want to be like, I'm so fucking stoked for you. And then being like, that sounds dumb. But it's just me. It is. So then I'm like, I'm so glad you showed up and shared your story with us today.
It's more, it's like proper conversation, proper woman, proper, don't be loud, don't be ecstatic, don't be emotional, don't be a fucking bitch.
Yeah. Let's be bitches here, bitches. We're happy. You can be a bitch anytime you want around me. You are really seriously an inspiration. What a cool, total story of just rising, rebuilding, and just owning your badness. Like just big bitch energy is there. I love that. So good job.
Thank you. It's like, I'm still working through a lot. And I think the biggest thing for me has been a willingness to do it anyway. And say, like, that little voice might say, you shouldn't do this. You're not smart enough. You shouldn't do this. You're weak. You shouldn't do this. They're going to make fun of you. And I still struggle with that with social media, to be honest, putting myself out there. But that voice, it's like, no, like, let me just see if I can prove it wrong. And let me just see, like, I have data that I've collected over the years showing the opposite, showing that I'm fucking awesome. Like, I want to, like, that's objectively true. I've accomplished X, Y, Z in my life. And I think a lot of people forget that about themselves in these situations. So anyway, thank you for holding space and letting me talk about this. This is my first time really sharing the arc in a recorded manner.
Oh, I'm honored that you shared your story for the first time with our besties. What a cool thing. That's awesome. Thank you for trusting in me and trusting in our show to feel safe to do it.
And well, you're welcome. And you do cultivate that trust. So, yeah.
Oh, I love that. This is cool. This is like, because I'm new. I'm not a professional podcaster. Well, I guess now I am.
You
Hi,
are.
I'm Lindsay, and I'm a professional podcaster. But I wasn't. I didn't know shit about shit. And I wasn't sure. Like, could I do this? Well, the first day you're like, hello, is anybody listening? And I don't know if anyone was listening. But what's been really, really cool is having women like yourself reach out to the show and feeling like they're part of something and feeling safe, and then all feeling like, I really do feel like there's this bestie gang happening and like people are all joining in together. And like, I encourage people to meet everybody like outside of this and let's have our own conventions, if you will. But the safety in that, and then the power you're now passing to the woman who's listening right now, who's in the closet, is just beyond anything I think that this of a scope of our imagination. So thank you for being that baddie, because I promise you right now, you are saving someone's life.
I hope so. And
you are.
I just want people to know that they just have, like, no matter what they bring to the world or their background or any mistakes, that they have intrinsic power just by being, and just by being alive and being here. Like, they are, I don't know, I want people, like, we don't have to prove our worth because we're already worthy of everything our little child self dreamt of. And not to let any person, thing, whatever it is, take that. And remembering that because we hold so much power, that's what they need. That's what they want. They want to take it. It's not the weak people who get involved in these. It's not it's the ones who shine so brightly, like you said. It's like Tinkerbell. Like, they just want to. So, because
Peter Pan was such a dick.
Oh yeah.
Oh my God.
So yeah.
No, I just thought about it. Like, I never thought about it till right now. What a dick.
Yeah.
Yeah. Wow. We're gonna free all the pixies.
Try.
Sprinkle our magic dust all over the world. All of our bitch dust.
Yes.
Let's go.
Absolutely.
You are amazing. I again, incredibly grateful to you for sharing and connecting with us on this show, and also just like reaching out and feeling, I can't even, sometimes I get DMs and I'm like, I feel like, hey, it's okay. Just come on the show. Like, I don't know what that feels like on the other side. So I'm glad you said yes. And I'm looking forward to having you back on, because you have all the letters. I can't wait to have you back on the other show.
The other show.
You'll be on the Tuesday show with all the letters and your book drop and all the shit. And I am fully here to support it.
I would love that opportunity. And I would love, especially as I'm getting the education of DV, and that is going to contain and like help me communicate, okay, here's what we do. Here's how we do it. And I'm not there yet, but I feel like that's coming. Of let's educate you about the fact that none of this is new. And they're all playing by the same old, they are not creative. It's just the reality. So I would love that. And I heard about this from a classmate, and she heard about my story, and she's like, I think you'd be interested in this. And I was like, I'm like, you know what? I think I want to be on it. I think I want to talk about this. And I think it'd be
Wait, you had a classmate who talked to you about bitch is a bad word?
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, that's so rad.
See?
I love that.
Professional podcaster.
Listening.
Yeah. And it's funny too when you said that, because I listened to this podcast. It's like a science podcast, and I go back. It's a very successful podcast now, and I go back and I listen to the first one because I want to hear how it started. And he at the beginning is like, if anyone's listening, he's like, I don't have any subscribers yet, but if, or ratings or reviews, but if you would be, open, I'll take any. And it's like, just so funny, because this is such a successful podcast and that I listen to, and I'm like, it's just, I'm like, I'm not emailing you now. Like,
oh my God, no, email him, because he's like, and you start, you're like,
right.
Is this thing on? Hello.
Yeah. So that just tells you, everyone I think starts like that. So yeah.
Well, yeah.
And you're doing great. work.
Oh,
So.
thank you. That's such a compliment. And I'm now like floating out of here like Tinkerbell, like someone's just told someone else about the show.
Yeah.
Yes,
Yeah.
I
No.
love that. That's cool.
And I
Super
will
cool.
as well now.
Thank you.
So yeah.
So
what do we do now?
Well, if we're done, I'll just sign off. She's ready to go. She's got this bitch has to work. She does. She told me before we started, and we're already kind of going off. I was looking at the time.
I've enjoyed it so much, so I also was like, it's okay.
Well, we'll have you back. And thank you for taking the extra time with us. And again, we say there's no safety in staying silent. Get loud for the besties and the bitches in the back. Let's go.
Yes.
And do the damn thing like you're doing. So thank you again so much for joining us today on this episode of Bitch Sesh. We'll see you next Tuesday, besties. Bye.
Bye.
Every single time I have a baddie on the show, I am so much more inspired and fired up. Like, what an amazing story. She is doing the damn thing. And I just like the rest of us, she's been told, and she's said it differently than I think I've ever heard it before. Like, she's been told so many times she was dumb and stupid, and we believe the shit. We believe the lies we're being told. And they're telling us these lies because we are freaking shining bright like diamonds, besties. And they want it. They want the shiny things, but they don't want anybody else to have the shiny things. So they put the shiny things away to dim your light. And your light deserves to shine. You are the light. You are the diamonds. And if you are listening to this session right now and you're in the closet and you are still in it, remember, there's no shame in staying. You leave whenever you need to leave. You leave when it's safest for you. Please, when you leave, when you have like a plan together, and you know what we're saying. So, but just know this. The lies that they're telling you are not the truth. And we need to start truly going back to our gut, our intuition, our instincts, telling us actually who the fuck we are. And we love you. I love you. You are a baddie. You can do the hard things you're going to need to do. You are. And reach out. If you need anything from us, we've got your back. Remember, there is no safety in staying silent. So if you are in immediate danger, you need to use 911, crash on a friend's couch, do whatever you have to do to get safe. That's what we always say. The National Domestic Violence Hotline is here for you at 1-800-799-SAFE, 1-800-799-7233, or you can reach them at thehotline.org, 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. Besties are standing by. They've got your back. It's completely confidential. Like she said, you could talk to them for as long as you need to talk to them. They're there. They've got your back. A little housekeeping. Please do, if you like this show, give us a little love. Like, share, subscribe, review. I love reviews. Put them in, good or bad. I like to tell me what's up. Tell me what we need. And send me your texties from your XDs. Slide them into my DMs at bitchesabadwordpod. You can reach us on TikTok and YouTube at bitchesabadword. Our phone number is 331-BITCHES. You can text it, or you can ring-a-ling-ling, traditional, like whatever that is. It's not really a landline, like phone it. And yeah. Oh, frick, Patreon. Patreon.com/bitchesabadword. There is a whole community of besties over there. There's a paid tier that gives you a whole bunch of paid stuff. Ad-free listening, merch drops, cool perks. But there's also free version. So go there and check it out. Besties are rebuilding their network and really having a safe place to share. It's a private Discord server as well, where we vet everybody that comes on. So it is truly, truly as safe as we can make it. Thank you for taking the time to listen to the show today. And you're loved, and you're smart, and you're a baddie. And if there's anything that you want us to talk about, reach out, send me a message. Let me know if there's a topic you want me to cover. I'm happy to do it. We love you. Stay happy. We'll see you next Tuesday. Bye, bestie. Our editor is Kevin Mackler. Our music was composed by Drew Kevorkian. Our art design was created by Eric Johnson and Kevin Roche. Our interns are baddies. Our Patreon is managed by Kay. And this has been a Caliber Studio production. Bitches being bad.